A fault is a weakness, a defect, a fracture. Faults divide, tear, and consume. Here in the city of Chester's Chasm, we struggle to maintain that precarious balance over the precipice in the earth, in our lives, and in our hearts. This story is about 4 teenagers with faults of their own.
The fault between my faith and freedom.
The fault between my family and identity.
The fault between my life and death.
The fault between my guilt and revenge.
As these fractures grow, we stand at the edge and ask, what must we sacrifice to sate the void's endless hunger? Is it possible that the answer lies within all our faults? Greetings, and welcome to All Our Faults, a Monster Hearts 2 actual play podcast by the Tabletop Talespinners Network. I am your hostess and MC, Mistress Winter. Growing up, I was raised in a Methodist environment, went to Sunday school, church, youth rallies, the works. But Christianity never resonated with me. When I went off to college, I used my new autonomy to explore paganism and Wicca, but escaping Christian symbolism and myth was a little hard while going to a Catholic university. Feel free to ask. I'm open to questions. There was one story that makes up a cornerstone of Christian philosophy that I find both epic and beautiful. Dante Alighieri's Divine Comedy. Inferno is a harrowing journey that I could read over and over again. But it is actually Purgatorio that I related with, frequently joking that if I died, I'd like to go to Purgatory where all the philosophers and righteous pagans hung out. I don't know if I'd want that now. For the foreseeable future, my life exists in limbo, not moving forward and not changing direction. This tenuous state is annoying at best and infuriating at worst. All the while, I watch from afar as the world I came from falls through all the levels of hell, and the promise of hope for a better life lies just out of reach. Perhaps all we can do in these moments of suspense is to vigilantly wait, to watch for an opportunity to act, to make a difference, to drive ahead. It is said that patience is a virtue. Well, even years in figurative purgatory, I find that patience still takes a lot of practice. So be kind to yourself if you're in a similar situation. Find ways to be resilient and take short rests when able. You'll need all your strength for what may come. Our teens, however, are preparing to break the chains of the status quo. In our last chapter, Scarlet conspired with Saline to keep Crispin from walking a darker path, one led by Sara and her favor among colleagues. Michael, Solomon, and Saline finished up their lunch period by sharing information and making plans for the weekend to come and the suspicious date between Solomon and Sara. Content warnings for this episode include mild violence and mild body horror. Shoutouts and thank yous after the show. Chapter 29. The Chester's Chasm Tango. Crispin, after yearbook club, you're leaving school, and you will note Deanna sitting on the steps of the school reading a book with Deacon not hovering around.
I will approach her. If she's sitting on the stairs, I'll stand at the bottom of the stairs to sort of give her the illusion of the high ground. And I will just casually say, "Hey, how are you doing?"
She looks up from her book. There is an amount of guarded sadness. She bookmarks her book and closes it. "Hi."
Were the two of them at yearbook club, Or is this the first time I'm really seeing her since the party?
They were at yearbook club, and unlike all of the days before, they were not joined at the hip.
Yeah, I had a feeling. In that case, I will be very gentle, very non-threatening, and just look at the book in her hand and say, "Reading anything good?"
She looks at it, shrugs. One of my trashy romance novels.
I don't think there's anything trashy about romance, but to each their own. And he will sort of regard the book for a few more minutes. Or moments, not minutes. That would be so weird.
A little bit.
Crispin, awkward? No, never. It couldn't happen. And he'll just sort of very gently, very sincerely, "So how are you doing? I was concerned after I dropped you off on Saturday. I haven't wanted to pry or push, but you've been in my thoughts."
And prayers.
Crispin will allow himself to chuckle at that. Something like that, yeah.
I've been okay, I guess. Things are tense at home.
Has anything like that ever happened before?
No.
Crispin fully knew the answer to that before he asked, and he will sort of nod thoughtfully. "Well, I'm sure that whatever happened was a one-off. Heat of the moment. Sometimes people do crazy things around the people they love. What matters is that, you're okay. Are you okay?"
She indicates her book. I've read so many of these, and in quite a few of them, there is an abusive spouse that the protagonist wants to get away from and finds comfort in someone else's arms. I've never understood why they would stay with their abuser long past the first incident. It's almost made me mad because it seems so simple. You get hit, you leave, but yet they stay. They're conflicted even. They feel guilty for finding happiness with someone else because they're betraying their abuser. I guess I get it now.
I know that you might find this ironic coming from me, but I believe that the world is wider and more complex than we give it credit for. And if it were so simple as to just leave, then I think more people would. But, as you have in a roundabout way pointed out, it's not really that simple, is it?
No, it's not.
Crispin will take this opportunity to mount the steps and sit beside her in what appears to be a friendly gesture from the outside, but he is sitting far too close to be casual, and he puts a hand on top of one of her hands holding her book, and he meets her gaze and just says, "You'll be all right. Maybe not great. Maybe things will never be the way they were, but you're strong, Deanna. You are smart and outspoken, and I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, but you're not the kind of person to let something like this cow you for long. You're a fighter."
Give me a turn someone on.
It's an 8.
Still a partial success. In this moment, on a 7 to 9, she can either give you a string or choose one of the reactions, give herself to you, promise something she thinks you want, or get embarrassed and act awkward. Because she has no concept of your abilities and that this is acting completely against her own self-interest, she's going to give you a string.
I just want to point out she fully asked me out. Just to be clear.
She did. Oh, she did.
Cool. So I have a string on her now.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know how much fun I can have with strings now.
I know.
Tee-hee.
She looks down at your hand because you put it on her book, right?
Like, I imagine she's holding the book in her hands, and so I put one hand over her hand holding the book. So we're both holding the book together.
Sure.
It's very cinematic.
She reaches over and takes the book with her other hand while lacing her fingers with yours as she scans the street casually. You waiting for the bus?
No, actually, I've stopped taking the bus. Do you need a ride?
You have a car?
I have access to a car.
A car here?
Yeah. Come on. And Crispin will stand up and reach his hand down to help his lady descend the stairs as he tips his fedora, or no, not even his fedora, his trilby. Milady. Listeners at home, I just want you to know that I hate him as much as you do. I promise.
Well, hope you don't take offense to this, but it seems that the cult didn't completely fuck you up.
Crispin will full belly just laugh at that. Knowing all the things he knows now, the thought of the cult just seems so silly. He'll, look at Deanna with the smiling eyes and a genuinely pleased expression. And he'll just say, well, I'm thrilled to hear you think so. Come on, let's get you home.
She'll follow you to the Hummer. She looks at it to you, Crispin. You drive that?
For now, it does the job.
Yeah, all right.
Do I get the sense she's a car girl?
You can ask.
I think, I'll let that be a conversation for another date.
Okay.
And yeah, unless she specifically wants to go somewhere else, I will take her home and do the same thing I did last time of making sure Deacon sees.
You'll walk Deanna up to her house, and through the curtained window can make out Deacon on a computer, school books open, already starting in on his homework. When he hears sounds at the front door, he does turn to look. There's this quickly fleeting look of hope, or that look when you're a little excited that someone's coming home. But then when he sees you, that look shrinks into a fearful anger.
Crispin will revel in that expression for a few moments and just let himself soak in Deacon's scorn, knowing that he can't do fuck all about it. Is Deanna still holding her book?
Yes.
I'm going to sneak the book out of her hand, take a picture of the cover with my phone, and then hand it back to her. I will just give her my most charming smile and say, so we have something more to talk about next time.
Deanna's look of confusion gives way to just amusement, shakes her head. Didn't realize you'd become so soft, goofball.
Oh, she gave me a nickname. Oh, that's awesome. The inner fucking nerd in Crispin is so fucking stoked right now. Like, a girl likes me. But he'll give her another one of those warm, genuine smiles, and he won't go to kiss her or hug her or do anything overtly provocative while he knows that Deacon is watching, but he will give her hand an affectionate little squeeze and just say, I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you later. Drive safe.
I'll do my best.
Don't want you running over any puppies or anything in that thing.
I swear on my... He does the full, Boy Scout pledge thing. The fingers up in the air, hand over his heart, and he goes, I swear, on my watch, no puppies shall be harmed.
Okay. And she'll turn and head into the house, stealing a couple of glances back at you. Saline, you are returning to Powerline after school, after your book club, which is full of complicated relationships and tensions between the core group. On your way back, walking, taking the bus, you have the feeling that you're being followed. and not by your usual hunter. This is something different. This is a different hunger that is creeping behind you. When you round the corner to head up the street to where Powerline is, you nearly run into Barbara.
Have I ever seen Barbara on this side of town before?
No.
Do I know where Barbara lives? Because I have a feeling it's not this side of town.
She also lives in the mall, but not close to here.
Okay.
She lives in more of the residential area as opposed to the apartments and businesses.
Do I still have the feeling that somebody is after me or is looking for me?
The feeling is more present than it was.
So as I round the corner, and I'm assuming nearly, literally, almost run into her, I'll just kind of stumble back for a second. Just, Barbara, I didn't expect to see you here. Sorry, I didn't see you.
It's easy to see nothing.
Cool. I hate that.
How are you?
Saline will take a step back and kind of clutch her sketchbook to her chest and just, I'm fine. How are you?
Sad for you. You have experienced a lot of loss of late. True?
I really hate this. Saline will just blink at her and say, I guess it's fine though. It is what it is.
And you're still losing parts of yourself, losing your identity. I can imagine that makes you feel empty. All this abandonment.
Sorry, I don't think I understand what you're getting at. We don't really talk about this sort of stuff, so I don't really know what you could be referring to. And Saline is getting increasingly unnerved and will kind of move to press herself up against the wall so she can inch around Barbara so that if she needs to make a run for it, she can.
Barbara barely moves, but mirrors your movement, facing you directly as you press up against the wall, and personal space is minimal.
I hate this so much.
I've heard you've been removed from your family home, both of them. The loss of your sister's affection, mother's.
I'm sure I don't know. She'll flounder for a second with words, kind of stumbling, trying to get her bearings, and then just, how do you know any of this? Also, I would like to give myself the condition trapped. Because I think it applies right now.
It does. At the same time, that energy that is normally built up in anticipation of having to flee or fight, that adrenaline that kicks in, makes you vibrate, and all your muscles prepare for action, that energy is muted. Not as palpable as it usually is. Instead, you feel the chill of that fear of that loss that you have been experiencing rising to the surface and draining that energy. Barbara steps slightly closer. You do know what I speak of. I can free you from it. I can turn that loss into control.
How close to me is she currently?
She's inches from your face.
Cool. I'm going to be fully pressing myself up against the wall, clearly uncomfortable, and just, I appreciate the offer. I think I'm okay. I do think I should probably make a roll to keep my cool.
Okay, please do. As you roll, take your result down by 1.
So it's essentially just a flat roll because I have bolstered my cold. So 9.
Okay. Being so close to her, you can almost see yourself reflected in the silver that her eyes have become, a dark mirror for yourself and all of the trauma and hurt that you've experienced. Have you ever read The Portrait of Dorian Gray?
No, but I know about it.
So, basic concept, there's this man who's made immortal by the fact that his portrait ages and takes the harm that he physically would.
Mm-hmm.
In this context, you are gray and your reflection is the portrait. You see all of the wounds, the mental anguish and trauma and everything that has affected you on full display. So in this moment, it would be very easy to give into that despair that Barbara seems to be drawing out of you, but you can still deny it.
So as I'm experiencing all of this and that temptation is there, I will kind of shove my... One hand is essentially clutching my sketchbook to my chest. The other is free and dangling at my side. So I'm kind of gonna shove it into my pocket.
Where I keep the mirror from my dad that no longer works. But as I feel it and kind of remember him and, in a sense, what I am fighting for,
I will be able to resist
giving in to her. At least this time.
You are okay. Such a self-delusion.
Maybe, but it's the one that gets me through the day.
Surviving is not living.
Sometimes surviving is all we have. Sometimes surviving is enough.
Is it, though? Survival is empty, lacking anything other than our most basic needs. And even those are fragile at best. Just think of the city's homeless. What kind of lives do they live? Surviving each and every day, hoping to survive, watching that hope dwindle down like a candle burning out.
As she is speaking to me, I am getting wildly more uncomfortable. I would like to shove her away from me and run away.
All right. In that case, are you just running away, or do you want to cause some harm first?
I want to cause some harm. This is really freaking me out, and I want her... Yeah, I'm going to lash out physically first. It will be a hard shove. All of my body weight behind it.
Sure. Give me your lash out physically. And remember to subtract 1.
So that'll just essentially negate the trapped condition, my cornered rat move. But that still gives me 4 + 6 is 10. That still puts me at a 12.
Fuck, yeah. All right. Please describe your attack here.
So as she's kind of lost in her monologue about the homeless and surviving and stuff like that, it will kind of strike me as,
this has never seemed like... I've known Barbara a while.
We've worked together. I'm essentially her, assistant for yearbook club, right? Her editor-in-chief, if you will. This is not something this girl has ever thought about, has ever talked about, at least whenever I've encountered her. And especially in this way, it's very different. So this, not only has Barbara been acting really weird lately, this seems like something wearing her skin at this point. So I'm going to dig my feet into the ground as subtly as I can, and then bring my arms up, and with all of my body weight, I'm going to shove at her as she kind of stumbles back, and my goal is to get her on the ground. I am just going to run. Which I can give you a runaway roll as well.
Yes, please do. Your sudden attack catches her off guard to the point that she doesn't even move to guard herself or catch herself as she falls backward with a heavy thud onto the concrete. What's your runaway?
It's another 12. I got a 6 on the dice again, plus 2 for a 12.
That's perfect. You use the surprise to bolt down the street, presumed to power line?
Actually, I think I want to go to the cascade.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'd like to be as close to the Fey Realm as possible at the moment.
Okay, perfect.
And I don't want Barbara to know where I am, even though she probably already knows where I live right now.
Sure. You take off down the street and pass by a bus stop just as the bus is pulling up. You leap on and turn to look behind you to where Barbara is. You see her still laying on the ground before she sits up very stiffly and stands looking to you just as the bus doors close and the bus takes off. She watches as you pass by, not saying anything, not running after the bus, just simply watching.
I hate that so much.
Great. Love that she's not normal.
There's one more thing I'd like to do, and that is, when I get to the cascade, is that hole that I essentially punched into the Fey Realm still there?
It is. It does look smaller, but almost imperceptibly.
Okay. So
I would like to take the mirror.
and I'd like to hold it and put my hand through to the Fey Realm holding the mirror and see if there's any change, anything happens, I feel anything.
Give me a dark.
Just a straight dark roll?
Yep.
9.
Initially, nothing feels different. You stick it through, you still feel the cold. You still feel the energy of your home, but the compact doesn't seem to change in your hand. When you withdraw and open it, the glass has partially reformed, and you can see broken, dark swirling in the glass. Kind of that static that usually accompanies the normal functioning.
Okay. I'd like to stand there and I'll be staring at it, and I'd like to call out to my father.
The swirling gives way to flashes of broken images. You can't make out much of the background or the figures or anything. You think that you can, though, see glimpses of your father, and he is trying to talk to you, trying to talk through the mirror, but the audio is distorted and broken.
So I can't make out anything he's saying at all.
You get relieved, live, scouts, not return, can hear me.
Relieved, alive, scouts, not return, hear me. Awesome. Why would anything ever be easy?
I will attempt to communicate back, but I will have no real sense of how well or if at all he can hear me.
Clearly he can see me, and he heard me originally call out to him. But I don't know what the connection is like, because I did break the mirror. So I will just kind of quickly try and tell him, like, I can sort of hear you. I'm alive. I won't return. My access to the Fey Realm is cut off. I'll try and contact you soon.
Think understood. Love you.
I will respond, I love you too. This is so sad. I'll stay there kind of staring at the message and kind of watch the flashing images of him go away. And then I will just kind of spend a little more time at the cascades, probably stick my hand in the hole I made a couple more times just to kind of feel connected to the Fey realm. Maybe spend some time trying to make it bigger. They don't really expect anything to come out of that. Once enough time has passed and I feel like Barbara shouldn't be there anymore, I will actually head back to Powerline.
Okay. Awesome. Michael.
Yes.
You are out with William some point during this week. You return back to his home, whether to drop him off or to stay the night with him again, when out of the darkness, Reggie materializes and has William in his clutches. Well, hello, little brother.
Get away from him.
Seems you made it out alive.
Get away from him.
I know that Master's been missing you something hard. You can see like one sharp fingernail pressing more as a threat to you to stay back.
Do not harm him. Let him go.
Oh, I don't intend to kill your food for you. I simply came to see how you're doing and to let you know that Master will know that you're still alive.
Can I try to hypnotize him to unhand William?
You can. What conditions do you have before you answer?
Oh, right. Conditions. I have uncooperative and not your business.
Okay.
And hypnosis is plus hot, so that means I rolled a 9.
Unhand him now.
He lifts his finger and shoves William towards you.
And I'll, embrace William, looking past him at Reggie.
What do you want?
Master wants to see you. And if you should think of running, know that we will find you. Or at least him. Indicating William.
I will come. Leave.
Have a good night. And in a flash, he is gone.
And I think he'll hug William tight.
William begins to shake against you as the rush of adrenaline from the fear kicks in.
It's okay. It's done. You're okay.
He will retire into the house. Whether or not you join him is up to you.
Does he want me to?
He pauses when you ask. There's been a lot today. More than being threatened. Just learning more about the world. More than my science knows. It's,
There will always be more than we can understand. And tonight, I have to go somewhere I don't want to. I hope I come back.
Yes, well, go do what you need to do.
I won't let them hurt you.
I don't know that you'll be able to promise that. He'll head into the house.
Michael will linger there for a moment and then walk back to his car and head over to the tower, I guess.
Okay.
I think Solomon needs to talk to somebody, and there's only one person that he knows he can talk to.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to the place where I met that person and see if they're still there. To my old hut that we were hiding out in for a while to see if my traveler friend is in town.
As if they had anticipated your return, Rock is sitting by a fire that they have built up, cooking some game over it. The smell is heavenly. A whole bunch of wild herbs and stuff having been applied to the cooking skin. Ah, welcome. Been a long time. I haven't seen you around much.
Yeah, I've been doing some things. It smells delicious as usual.
Well, please join me. Food's for both of us.
I feel like you're always here whenever I need you to be. It's kind of weird.
Did I or did I not promise that I would be there when you need me? I have an intuition about these things.
That's fair. No, I'll sit down on the opposite side of the fire from them, and I'll just cross my legs. Kind of like rest my arms on like my knees as I'm sitting. Sorry to throw this down on you as soon as we meet, but I need some advice, I think.
They look across the fire at you, saying nothing, simply listening.
I'll look over to the 2 mounds where my parents lay. You know, before I lost them, I thought I lost everybody else I cared about. And recently there's, I found out that isn't true. A friend of mine from back then, well, she's alive. She's fine. And she hates me, I think. Or resents me. I don't know. And now I find myself in the middle of a bunch of mess, and I just wish my parents were here to tell me what to do.
Rock looks over at the mounds. Well, you know that I am not your parents. I am not biologically related to you, but I dare say that over the time together we have developed a familial bond. Would you say?
Yeah, say if I had any family, you'd be it.
Glad you share the feeling. So I doubt that this friend of yours hates you. Perhaps they have some unresolved issues, but you are hardly dislikable.
Tell that to my roommate.
But what have I told you before about when you have wronged somebody? What is the advice I gave you about making amends?
That everything can be solved over a good plate of food.
And?
That I should apologize.
Sometimes that's all it takes. Have you apologized yet?
No.
Therein lies the problem. So perhaps you can approach this friend, maybe over a plate of food, and apologize.
There's a smile that comes across his face that he doesn't want to happen because he knows that it is the answer he's been looking for, but also he hates that it's the answer he's been looking for. Alright, Ruck, when you're right, you're right. Yeah, I'll apologize.
That's a good lad. Now, please dig in. Don't want this to get overcooked or cold.
And then just the rest of the conversation is me asking them about what they've experienced during their travels since the last time I saw them.
They'll describe some of their adventures. They've wandered down into South America and visited some of the ruins down there, and will describe its ancient splendor and simply regale you with their journeys. We'll say the Friday before the double date, Ella will find Saline during lunch in Saline's usual haunt. You'll see her lingering outside the door, very reticent to enter, obviously conflicted, but then will finally turn the handle and step inside, trying to be as unobtrusive as possible. Hey.
I'll look up from the sketch I'm working on. It's obvious on my face that I am surprised to see her, because it's definitely not something I was expecting. But I'll try to taper down any hope that is springing up and just go, hey, what can I do for you?
Interesting way to say hi to your sister. I mean, I'm not a customer. I'm not going to commission you for art or something.
I wasn't expecting you to be here to seek me out. Ever?
Yeah, well, you have some very convincing friends.
My eyes will narrow as I look at her, and I'm definitely immediately worried because I truly don't know if she means an actual friend or if someone is now messing with her on some insane way to try and get in my good graces. So my eyes will narrow and I will just, who? Is someone bothering you?
I mean, yes, but no, not the... Look, I've been a bitch. And you didn't deserve it. Well, not all of it.
I deserved a little bit of it, at least. I did leave without telling you.
Yeah, you kind of just disappeared.
I'm sorry about that. Still, I know I've said it before, but I hope you know that I only left because I, right or wrong, felt I had to.
Yeah, I mean, I know that Mom can be kind of a hard ass sometimes, so I get it. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure you're all right. You can tell that there's much more beneath the surface than the newly painted and beautified surface.
How far away from me is she? Like, is she standing near the door, talking, like, across the room to me?
She's probably about 5 feet away.
Okay. I'll nod, but look her over, and particularly, look at her eyes and, just try and discern a bit what she's feeling. I clearly can tell. I mean, she's my little sister, so I know. While I don't know what it is, I know that there's more to all of this. I will kind of scoot over a little bit on the bench that I'm sitting on and pat the seat next to me and just want to sit. We don't have to talk, or we can talk, but we don't have to. I'd just like to spend time with you again, if you're willing. Unless you have to get back to Sarah Paisley or whatever.
I'd like you to give me a roll. I'm going to say either hot or cold.
Wow, cold is better than hot, so I'll go with that.
It's going to be very much like keeping your cool.
Okay. It's an 8.
You can see her glancing at the door. There is definitely a level of anxiety that, if you were to think about it pretty thoroughly, would probably point to Paisley's crew as what she's most worried about. Her allegiances have been solidly in that court for the last couple of weeks. And if she were to move back into your loyalties, there may be some conflict that arises from that. It would leave her vulnerable, you vulnerable to potential attack.
So after I've laid the invite out there and watched her expressions, I'll look at her in the eyes and just go, look, I get it. They're your friends. I'm your sister, your big sister, and I am not in your friend's good graces. So I'm not going to make you choose. You can go back with your friends. But I do want you to know, Ella, that real friends shouldn't be giving you so much anxiety over simply just talking to a family member. And they shouldn't be turning you into someone that you don't necessarily want to be. I'll always be here. I'll keep your secret.
She nods, then considers it for a moment before saying, I'll just tell them I was in the restroom. She'll pull over a chair and sit where she can watch you sketch, paint.
I'll let her be for the most part, just enjoying her presence as well. Every now and then when I feel she might get too lost and looking out the window, I'll slightly bump her with my shoulder. But for the most part, I'll just be enjoying her presence.
All Our Faults is a Tabletop Talespinners Network production. TTN Creative Director is Emma Kocar. Our wonderful cast includes Abby Marie Carter as Saline, Extell as Solomon, Juicy Garland as Michael, and Cat Kelly as Crispin. I have been your producer, MC, and hostess, Mistress Winter. Our social media handles are in the show notes, along with additional credits and thank yous. Regardless of what philosophical level of Inferno, Purgatorio, or Paradiso it journeys, I hope your heart has steadfast companionship to walk beside you in dark and light until we meet again. Farewell for now. This has been a tale from the Tabletop Talespinners Network.